All right, so we're gonna be talking about YouTube Proactive, and YouTube Proactive, I like it a lot, and I hate it a lot. I think it's the next TV. Honestly, there's more video consumption on YouTube than any other social media platform.
When you say YouTube's the next TV, maybe it's like many multiples what TV could ever be.
Yeah,
because your reach is just so expansive.
So it's expensive, but it's worthwhile as an investment, either time or what you can afford. Which sounds stupid, but you can spend $10 a day if you would like. It's just going to take a year.
Welcome to the ultimate guide for Google Ads,
Part Quattro.
And today we're talking about proactive YouTube.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite ones.
Well, fun fact, that's 100% of our Google ad spend, isn't it? Outside of maybe remarketing.
Yeah, like we have, but we do YouTube remarketing, a little bit of brand to protect ourselves from people that want to be just as cool as us, and then just a little bit of display remarketing. But again, it's pretty much, yeah, everything that we do to gather a new audience is 100% on YouTube.
And we spend what, 150 grand a month?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's a little scary to say.
Oh my gosh, I know. I remember years ago when we were like made $100,000 a month in like gross revenue. We're like, oh my god, and now we're spending that in ad spend more than that. It's just it's surreal, but it shows the power of YouTube. That's for sure.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah,
we spend a small house a month.
Yeah, and it's funny is our YouTube subscribers now hit 20,000 people, and what's crazy about that is, I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things, like I know like you have people that have like 2, 3, 4 million, but like 20,000 is very humbling. When you like Google a picture of 20,000 people, you see like a stadium filled with people, and all of a sudden,
dude, it's Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And
then you get really nervous because you're like 20,000 people could be watching this right now, and then I get like all stage fright.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden is a 20,000 seat arena.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
I know.
That's just so awesome.
We're playing in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, every day.
Every day. All right, you ready to rock?
Let's do it. All right, so we're gonna be talking about YouTube Proactive, and YouTube Proactive, I like it a lot, and I hate it a lot. A few things I like about it. It has a very, very wide reach. You can get really cool with the type of targeting. And it goes down even to the nitty gritty. Now, these type of targeting may not be around forever, but what I do like about the type of targeting that we have is I can target based on what a person is doing, not who they are, which I think is a big issue with the difference between like Facebook and Google. Like a lot of people think like Google's inbound and it's bottom of the funnel. Facebook's outbound, it's top of the funnel. YouTube kind of flips Google upside down, and it is YouTube top, middle, and bottom of the, or it's proactive, outbound, top, middle, and bottom of the funnel. And I think it's the next TV. Honestly, there's more video consumption on YouTube than any other social media platform. And now with streaming TV and connected TV, it's right behind that. So it is an extremely powerful network. And it's the only network you can track conversions when you're talking about this versus TV or a connected TV or streaming, whatever it may be. So
you know what's interesting about that, dude? I was talking to a friend who I won't name because it will be indicting. But we have a mutual acquaintance who has a TV show. And it's a TV show you would have heard of. It's a reality show.
Yeah.
Something kind of like one of those like fix up the houses shows, but for a different branch of the world. Here's what's crazy. I was like, oh, dude, that guy's at a TV show. He's made it, is what I'm thinking in my mind. And then my buddy goes, guess how many views he gets? It's 10,000 an episode.
Oh, wow.
Half our YouTube subscribers. Wow. Yeah, bro, TV like gets very little play nowadays. That doesn't count however it is they repurpose the media online. Obviously, it's pure like television.
Just TV, yeah.
But I mean, it's a popular show. Like, I don't watch TV and I've heard of it.
Yeah.
So, when you say YouTube's the next TV, maybe it's like many multiples what TV could ever be.
Yeah.
Because your reach is just so expansive.
It's super targeted too. It's like you can't go to the TV and be like, okay, there's 7 people in this household. The 2 people that were really interested in mountain biking, only show it to them. It's like, right. Oh, that's not possible. It's like hopefully they're all at the same couch and they'll see that. So there's just so many like cool ways to reach people. So now some bad things. It's expensive. It is really expensive. Google recommends spending 15 times your average cost per acquisition per day for 8 days before you should actually start to see optimizations take place. So it's expensive, but it's worthwhile as an investment. And when I say worthwhile investment, there's an X and Y graph that I usually like to draw for clients. X is ad spend. That's your vertical. Y is time. And that's the length of time that you're going to be running your ads. With everything will optimize in the same amount of activity. What I mean by that is if I spend $100 a day, and let's say it's going to optimize over 10 weeks. Well, if I spend $200 a day and it optimizes over 5 weeks, or if I spend $300 a day, it optimizes over 2.5 weeks. So the more you spend, the quicker it optimizes, and it will optimize fairly same. Like we spend $5,000 a day, so I'll start to see conversions within a day for a new video.
Is that, I mean, so stupid question, but hopefully maybe an obvious answer. The more niche you are in terms of your targeting, does that decrease the ad spend requirements, or is YouTube just a batch and blast and you've got to spend into that threshold no matter what?
It's actually, what's interesting is it's not as much on niche. It's as soon as you find your target audience, Google can take it and run with it. And we have some videos on our YouTube channel. I think one's called like, "Are you hurting your YouTube ads?" And I pull up 3 examples where we spent anywhere between like 50,000 and 200,000, whatever it is. And you'll see like the first 2 to 3 weeks just horrible. Like there's just like a little heartbeat of conversions, and all of a sudden just it starts to take off. Partially of that, one of the reasons, because you need engage view conversion. And engage view conversion means did someone watch the ad for longer than 10 seconds, not click on anything with inside the Google Ads ecosystem, but still convert, meaning they went directly, organically, through social, whatever it may be. And Google needs that in order to optimize. If you're just going to optimize on clicks, you can, but if you have every 10 viewers is a conversion, if 1 out of every 10 of those is a clicker, you're going to optimize over 10 times longer, because Google needs that data. So that's why engage view conversion came out, is so Google can actually see some feedback initially and say, okay, we know these people are seeing it, we know they're converting. I had a person reach out to me on LinkedIn that says, hey, is it possible that Google didn't get any conversions on YouTube, but my direct and my organic just keep going up and up and up? I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely it. That's exactly right. So that's why MER is a thing, media efficiency ratio, all cash in, all cash out. So it's expensive. It's hard to track conversions. It doesn't see all the conversions. You have to be a really good marketer to run YouTube, because you have to know where to look. But that's an attribution video. That's a video for another day. Today, we're going to build one, and we're going to build it my way.
John's way.
Yeah.
YouTube the John way, the only way.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to share screen here. 1 second. It's being finicky. Hold on. There we go. All right. Can you see this okay here?
Yes, sir.
I got to move this window. All right. First thing, this is actually important. The sales or leads. You do not want to run anything else unless you're going to customize a very specific type of YouTube campaign. What I mean by that is, if you create a campaign without a goal guidance and you're using video, then you get all these cool options: a custom video campaign, a target frequency campaign, which is going to go for at least 4 or 5x as many impressions per person as possible, and non-skippable in stream. So a 15 seconds, those are the ones that really annoy people because it might be irrelevant and now you're stuck watching it for 15 seconds. I don't really like these too much. These don't self-optimize either. Drive conversions. This is my favorite one here. Ad sequence, really cool. Ad sequence is actually really cool. I haven't had great conversion data to support that it works well, but I think that the benefits outweigh the costs. Ad sequence means you can actually put a video, like let's say 1, 2, and 3 in a sequence. It says as soon as Kasim sees video 1, then he sees video 2. As soon as he sees video 2, then he sees video 3. So if you want to tell a brand story, or if you want to use it as a remarketing campaign to tell a story to a person why it's good, like we have a testimonial, and then we have a sizzle reel, and then we have a another testimonial, and then a discount. We do a specific type of remarketing to a person. You can absolutely do that. And then audio, this one's new for 2023. This is actually allowing you to run YouTube ads to people who are listening to YouTube and not watching it. This is usually more app-based. So if they see that the app is closed down, or if it's like a music video that just has like lyrics, these are actually ones that you can run an audio only ad on YouTube, which is pretty cool. So now Google, not only is Google now the new TV, it's also the new radio, which is pretty cool. But what I would say is your most beneficial starting out, either sales or leads. You're going to be stuck using maximize conversion bidding strategy, which is okay. The maximize conversion bidding strategy is what is going to allow this to optimize. And remember, when I said engage view conversions, let me just see if I can actually pull this up here. This engage view conversion, what I mean by that is, there we go. So this here, you'll see a engage view conversion window of 30 days. This is the maximum you can use. I use it always though, because you're going to see people that watch your ads and then convert. versus click on your ads and then converts. The clicks you can track for 90 days, the engage view you can track for 30 days. Use this. It will absolutely help optimize your campaigns fast. So we're just going to use sales. Or actually, no, yeah, let's use sales, whatever. We'll use sales for today. You can use a feed. That's the only difference between what I'm going to show you today, what I can't show you today. Literally, the only difference is when you create an ad group, and ad groups are just like everything else that you've seen, whether it's search or shopping, doesn't matter. An ad group, if you attach a feed, you can choose 4 or more items to be shown with your YouTube campaign. And you'll see a YouTube shopping campaign. It looks like this here. I'll just pull up a small image so you can get the ultimate guide version of this video. YouTube shopping kind of looks like this. Like you'll see a video and then you'll have the products next to it or below it, depending upon if you're on mobile or desktop. It just depends on how you're viewing it, but you'll actually see the products along with the YouTube video if you attach a feed, but you have to have more than 4 products. So don't shoot a video and then just attach one product. We went through this with video marketing, but I just wanted to share that with you in case you come into this video here in the series. I think it's video number 4. Go back and watch video number 2, I think. And that will share with you how YouTube remarketing and YouTube proactive, same thing when you're talking about feeds. So just we can go back and watch that video. But let's use sales for now. And we're going to use video, drive conversions. So this is the only thing you can use. It has to use maximize conversions. Now you can use maximize conversions and you can use a different variations of target CPA. So it works well. So let me just see here. So the maximized conversion bidding strategy or target CPA. So this is the variable that you can change it to. Target ROAS is not available because Google hates us, but maximized conversions and target CPA is, it's good enough. Just take your average order value, divide it by 2, and then bam, that's your target CPA, and I'll give you 200 ROAS divided by 4. That's a 400% ROAS, whatever it may be.
Any guesses as to why T ROAS isn't available?
I think what happens too so often on YouTube is that the person watching the video is going to buy something, and it has a less of a directional support as to if it is a larger purchase and not just a conversion. I don't know. It's very, very weird why they can't do that.
What throws me off is YouTube feels, max conversions versus max conversion value is a quality over quantity game. And YouTube feels like a quality over quantity play. So I almost feel like this would be better for YouTube. I was just curious as to whether or not you had a theory.
Yeah, we might see this change in the future. I don't know why specifically target ROAS. I know target ROAS is actually a harder bidding strategy for Google to achieve. Because it says, hey, show a cold traffic audience a video, but don't do it unless you're gonna know that they're gonna make a purchase and a big one. And it's harder for it to say, right? Or target CPA is like, if you don't think they're going to buy anything, don't show it to them. It's like, okay, you can kind of do a binary. Like this person's not interested. This person's interested. Target ROAS is this person's interested and they have a big bank account and they wanted to buy something now. I think it's a harder goal to achieve. We're just going to call this proactive YouTube for fun. Now, this part is the part that stinks. You cannot choose in, frequently in, or interested in. It is going to default to in, frequently in, and interested in, and you cannot change it. Even after you create the campaign, it won't let you actually go in there and change it either. So some things that I have seen people do is use a target or a campaign exclusion. So they'll hit one country and then exclude every other country. This way, people that are interested in the United States but are in a different area, you can just exclude that. It's an old school tactic that was around a long time ago, that you just target one area, exclude all the other ones, and then you're kind of like geo sculpting that they have to be in that location. That's still viable today. Hopefully Google gets rid of that, but where you can actually target in and frequently in, at least not interested in, because it's YouTube and everyone has YouTube, so I don't know, it's a waste. Languages, this one here, again, choose the language that it's in, because this is going to be very important that your audience is speaking the same language, because this is video. You're going to have text on screen, you have a person talking, sometimes a voiceover, whatever it may be. Language is important here. I actually like maximize conversions for this bidding strategy. I don't like TCPA. It restricts everything too much. So in our being an agency, you and I will get the clients, it's like, hey, scale up. And then if you're on TCPA, you're like, you're no, we can't. So maximize conversions allows you to throttle the budget to the result. And because Google loses and YouTube loses so much attribution, it's best just to kind of go with an over aggressive bidding strategy, because you may get 10 conversions. It may only see 2. It may think it's getting a bad TCPA, but that's okay. I mean, you know what's happening if you're a good marketer anyway. So, just throttle your daily ad spend, or you can use a TCPA or just like a really ridiculous TCPA. Like if it's getting $500 conversions in Google, but you know it's getting 100 in reality, maybe set a TCPA for like 550. This way you just kind of cap it to your existing performance. Cool. Enter budget type amounts daily. You can do campaign total for YouTube. I highly do not recommend that unless you're not really caring about any sort of long-term optimization and you just want to batch and blast like a sale. Black Friday, for example, fine. You're just going to use this as an awareness campaign. Totally cool. But this amount here needs to be what Google says, and what I've actually seen to be fairly true. 15 times, they say more than 15. So 15 to 16, whatever you'd like to choose. 15 times your CPA. So what that would mean is if your campaigns are currently getting like a $26 CPA, like your cost per conversion is $26. Multiply that by 16, you got $416. This is per day. $416 times 8 is $33.28. This is when Google says it has enough information to start to optimize. It's not optimized yet. This is like you pass the starting line at $3,300. You're still in last place though. It needs to optimize after that. So this is where it gets very expensive. Like if you're talking, I got $26 cost per acquisition, we're like, cool, we're gonna spend $500 a day. Like that's a scary proposition for a lot of companies.
Dude, this is massively inaccessible for small businesses, is what we're saying.
Or it's massively accessible if you have a 10-year business that's not too profitable, but still got a good growth path. You can run $100 a day for a year. That's the bad part though, is you have to think about that time versus return. And if you can run it at the higher amount you can afford to lose initially, the faster it'll optimize in that time period. So that's where you kind of have a pick your poison. And we have some campaigns that we ran for 6 months that are all of a sudden starting to produce results. We set up a long time ago. I said, hey, I'm going to spend $100 a day out of like the $4,000 per month. I mean, like the $4,000 per month, we're going to spend about $100 of that per month, and you just kind of have a slow burn. And then as soon as it starts to see, you can kind of kick it up to like $200 a month and $500 a month, and it'll start to self-support itself. It just takes a while, and it's really dependent upon industry, how good your videos are, and how, kind of, how would I say, in demand that product would be, or even your service, how in demand the service would be. So there's really no barrier to entry, but either time or what you can afford, which sounds stupid, but you can spend $10 a day if you would like. It's just going to take a year. Okay. You gave Facebook 2 years to figure it out. So, who cares? So I would just say, choose a daily ad spend that's appropriate for what we just discussed right there. This part here, you're going to have to leave this. But again, just like our YouTube remarketing video that we shot, if you use this, let's pop open a notepad here again for screen. If you use this as this is important, a negative placement exclusion, not a topic exclusion, but it has to be a placement. So go into your exclusions, and for a negative placement exclusion, use this here. Just add that, do it at the campaign level, and you will remove yourself from this area here, which is partners on the display network, is banner ads, apps, kids games, all the junk. It just removes it all, and it shows only on YouTube. So your videos will not show anywhere else but YouTube. And YouTube optimizes the best. So that cuts your optimization time in half. It's amazing. You take more money out of Google's pocket. That's why they don't allow you to do this, because it just says, hey, we find that this is better. Yeah, it's good for them, but bad for us. So use that tool. Content exclusions. I don't really use content exclusions. it doesn't really matter to me. I focus on a person. I don't judge what that person's watching for me to actually get a hold of them. I know that has a difference of opinion with a lot of big brands. They say, we know it's not brand appropriate for me to be found on, political websites. I don't care. I mean, I'm trying to sell, toothpaste. I don't really care where
I
that
think we
person
moved
is.
into like people understand that now. They used to think like, oh my goodness, you're on Jon Stewart's channel, you must be a liberal. And it's like, no, I'm on Jon Stewart's channel because you're on Jon Stewart's. You know what I mean? Like,
All right.
yeah.
The other part too that I think was funny is I thought that too until last week at a sales call with a larger company. We're still going through it, but one of the things that kind of stuck out as a red flag that made me thought maybe I wasn't the right fit or we're not going to be the right fit. As I said, they don't like to do too much intrusive marketing. And in my opinion, I was like, well,
all marketing's intrusive marketing.
Well, the other part too is like, then you really can't judge the campaign based on ROAS or CPA or anything at that point.
Right.
Like I need to get
I'm just
sales.
gonna be here if you need me.
Right. Yeah.
Just come knock if you'd like a call to action.
Right, exactly. It's like we don't want to do YouTube remarketing too much. It's kind of against our brand. I said, well, I don't know how we're gonna build a full funnel strategy then.
Dude, I that whole brand guideline conversation just infuriates me. Our logo must be shown this way in this context along these and it's like, no,
yeah,
you're stupid.
And that's a part too where it's like I don't want to be so harsh and just be like, yeah, then this is not going to work. But it's almost like we have 17 people that add an item to the cart that are thinking about it right now. Like, what if we just show them like a testimonial? Like that's not intrusive. They came to us, So who knows? But we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's the part too. Like the brand again, guidelines are secondary to if you're going to be measuring it by sales. If you're like, hey, we just need to get the word out, great, absolutely, easy peasy. But if we're going to say what happened with that campaign, it's going to say, I don't know. We got the word out. We did it.
I'll tell you what happened to that campaign. You cut its Achilles tendon and sent it off into the foot race.
Oh man. Yeah. So it'll change over time. I think it's still kind of, old school, Ivy League school marketer types that are still.
I love those, dude. The Harvard grads.
Yeah. I think that's still embedded into some corporations still.
Coming in swinging their $400,000 degree at us.
Yeah, right.
You tell I'm bitter.
We're old people.
We're
we're so old and disgruntled now that we're getting angry at the old disgruntled universities. Back in my day, you did work, damn it. I love it.
Oh, you have a degree. I have $100 million worth of proof. Which one do you think is better?
Right? I know it's always funny. It's like, okay, cool. It's like everything is viable until the question is how are we measuring it? Well, we're going to measure it on sales. Then I'm going to do what I want.
Then we do it my way.
Right. Cool. So devices, this one I actually like, because TV screens, again, I know TV screens are going to change. We talked about this in the video remarketing campaign, measuring off of engage view conversions and tracking those conversions. This one is still the one that drags down a bit. Engage view conversions in a TV screen is difficult. Click through conversions is fairly impossible. When you're talking about, when you're talking about the connected TVs, it doesn't happen as often. So if you're focused on reach and longevity, and you're looking for overall MER and you're getting to get the word out and you're not really too crazy about like, gosh, I really need to make this money back within the first kind of 6 months, hit TV screens. You'll get a better chance without TV screens though. That's my opinion. That's what we've seen fairly frequently. I don't use any sort of frequency capping, period, at all. I don't.
Trust
the Well, the other part too is everyone knows people that are just like, you know what? I keep seeing their ads and I bought one. Like you all have heard that person. You've been that person. But then everyone's like, no. I know exactly how long it's going to take to get Bob to buy every day. No, you don't. So just if you're going to overshow your ads to some people, okay, that's welcome to digital marketing. But I don't think that you would say that you're potentially, arrogant enough to know exactly how many times a person needs to see an ad per day. It's like, oh, really? We have every situation imaginable, like the person that's dealing with 3 screaming triplets and they're trying to get dinner ready and just got YouTube playing in the background. They're like, nope, she saw it twice, did my job. No, like you're so far detached from reality that just, let the algorithm do its job. Ad schedule. If it's lead generation, sometimes you may only want to run these kind of like maybe at 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., like when it's a little bit more business houry. E-commerce run 24/7 because it's
That
going to target.
shocks me to hear you say that just now.
What's that?
That they would employ an ad. I didn't mean for that to be as
Oh
combative
yeah.
as it came
No,
across.
no, no. Yeah.
Shame you, but like you being the Google Ads genius, I feel like you can afford a little shaming sometimes.
Yeah.
So you think that in a lead generation context, there's actually a case to be made for ad schedule because YouTube is such an interrupter marketing facet that you want them to be able to reach out when you're available and accessible.
Well, I think the other part too is with YouTube is going to spend no matter what. If it's 1 o'clock in the morning, it's spending money. Now, since lead generation is highly susceptible to lead quality, usually you're going to find the more awake, aware business type people not at 1 a.m. in the morning. And if they do convert, sometimes it's, they may be a little bit inebriated and they're not going to answer the call or maybe remember what happened. So when it's e-commerce, if someone makes a drunk purchase at 2 a.m., great. As long as they don't
more of those.
As long as they don't refund, I'll take all of those I can get.
But wait, there's more.
Order again and we'll charge you twice. That's a great deal. So that's what I like is YouTube. You're gonna pay for it. So if you can have an audience that is lead generation but is still digital enough, like we run our ads 24/7. We still get the people that are they're entrepreneurs.
A ton of after hours leads.
Well, we get the grinding entrepreneurs that are figuring things out. That's how people find us.
Yeah.
But if you're maybe like
they're sad and alone at 2 a.m. being like, all right, just do it for me.
Yeah.
And or maybe you go to sol8.com and fill out your form for your free action plan.
If you just want to talk to somebody, well, you can pay us to talk to you. It's good stuff. Yeah, so that's, again, your mileage may vary. It's always up to like the individual. I have use cases that say it's good. I have use cases that say it's not.
This is not a glitch. I'm interrupting the video you're watching because I need to remind you that I'm always looking for people to join our team. So if you're passionate about Google Ads and you want to work with the best Google Ads agency on the planet, please go to sol8.com/apply. Speaking of working with the best Google Ads agency on the planet, if you're having trouble with Google Ads and you want professional help, that's what we do. You can go to sol8.com, that's sol8.com, to apply for your free, no obligation action plan. And if I've given you any level of value at all, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. That's how we juice the YouTube algorithm so they actually know that I know what I'm talking about. If you have questions, comments, concerns, or confessions, hit me below in the comments. And now, back to your regularly scheduled program.
But lead generation, sometimes if you look at your ad schedule per day, you'll see that sometimes YouTube will just kind of spike up, then dip down, and then 6 a.m. it ramps up again. Just count to see, like over the course of like 30, 60 days, has anybody ever kind of purchased within that 1 or 2 hour of it when it spikes up at midnight? Because that's the day starts on your ad spend. So sometimes you can save yourself 10 to 20% of your ad spend by starting it at 5 a.m. instead of midnight. Cool. We're just going to do, we're going to skip third-party measurement because that's not going to be appropriate for this video. Ad group, I'm just going to call it ad group 1 just for placeholders. Here's what I want to talk about, though, is I want to spend a little bit of time on this the rest of the time video, and I think we have about 14 minutes left. So our audience, the audience is going to be the biggest, the biggest area that you're going to need to take your time on, almost even more so than the video, is really work to develop a really solid audience. And I'm just going to say test for us, but custom segments. These here, for example, are going to be the things that Google will create for you or ones that you created yourself. So, for example, I'm using myshopify.com. This is still an audience that converts for me today. Reason being, sorry, I keep burping. I'm so sorry, everyone. Energy drink side effects. But the My Shopify audience here, if you go to myshopify.com, this is still actually a domain that people go to after they log in. It's still an audience that people have. Google has 500 million people. That's how many weekly impressions. This is when you go into myshopify.com, you're logging in to your Shopify store. Well, if I'm creating like how to calculate MER and how to run, shopping ads on YouTube, blah, 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 I want the people who are logging into their Shopify store because huge brands are on Shopify now too. I mean, $100 million, $100 million companies are on Shopify. There's more people moving to Shopify than any other platform. So if you're logging in, I want to get to know you. I want to pay 2 pennies to get in front of you at least. That's my investment into that Shopify owner, 2 pennies. And I only pay if they don't skip the 8. So
if you don't mind, John, will you show on a new segment exactly how it is that you built that specific audience?
Yep, and that's what I was actually going to be doing here. I just clicked the wrong button. Sorry. So here's the new segment. This is what I would say is this is how to do this. There's a disclaimer here. I don't think it's going to be around forever, and I won't know when it stops working. Google will not just tell us. This audience will just change, and we won't be able to tell. What I mean by that is the people who search for any of these terms, Google is now starting to double check things. So let's say you're a domain registrar and you're trying to get people who are interested in buying domains. Well, maybe the people that visit GoDaddy is going to be an audience that you're going to want to see. This still works right now. So what GoDaddy is the URL. Now, people who search for any of these terms on Google, well, if I go to Google and I type in here GoDaddy, that's the same URL. So the URL bar and the search bar are the same bar. So technically this URL up here, if I type in like cats, that's a search. So that's the same, that URL bar and your search bar is the same exact bar. So if I say, hey, people search for these terms on Google, I'm basically saying anybody that goes to GoDaddy, and it's like, oh yeah, we have an audience here that goes to GoDaddy. Excellent. Now, would I post a domain registrar YouTube ad to these people? Absolutely. People go to GoDaddy primarily to either log in, which is bad, but to buy domains. Test that audience, and Google's optimization will find the people that go to that website that have been purchasing domains, and it will start to get more and more conversions. So this is a really, really good way to get right in front of an audience of people that are going to websites right now. And actually, here's I'll share with you the results afterwards. But these custom segments are great. The new segment here is people with these interest or purchase intentions, or people who search for these terms on Google. So the same thing that we just talked about, but only keywords. So a lot of times you can take your inbound Google Ads search campaign, copy those keywords, paste it into here, and now you have a very similar audience that you're attracting on YouTube. There's 2 things I want to mention though. If I say, just for example, Nike shoes, let's say we're a third-party retailer, and it says, hey, okay, I want to have people who search for these terms on Google, Nike shoes. I know I'm going fast here, but you can rewatch this. So I just want to make sure I get this into the amount of time that we have left. But Nike shoes, this is a good audience here, works. Have parents 25 to 44, male and female, good. Very, very solid audience. It looks right. This is people who've searched for any of these terms in Google. So they went to either Google and searched, or they went to YouTube and searched. If it's not on Google or on YouTube, it's going to read a website. It's going to read the website's information and then show the ad to people who have been on websites that feature words like Nike shoes. So you'll see only on campaigns running on Google properties, YouTube, Google search. On other campaigns, which is when you're talking about display, terms will be used as interest or purchase intentions. So if they type it in on Google, you'll see it. If they type it on YouTube, they'll see it. If it's off of the Google properties, you'll still be showing these ads to people who have been visiting websites or they've been having a high amount of activity with this keyword in their browser. This one here, any people with any of these interest or purchase intentions, I like it better than this one here, because Nike shoes means Google has already identified a person right now, yesterday, that is looking to buy Nike shoes. So if you say, hey, can I just have all the people that are interested in buying Nike shoes? Perfect. Nailed it. Like, you got that audience now. It's there, available. You just need to tap into it.
Well, look at the prompts it offers. Nike Air sneakers women's, Nike Air sneakers men's.
Oh,
Nike
so many. Yep. So many. And they're just endless. And you can just keep doing this. Like, I'm not going to actually, read these yet, but I mean, they just keep these. This right here, well, I mean, you want 1 trillion people? Cool. Like, there's not even that many people. It's just the amount of weekly impressions. So Google is vast. Your data, I don't use this at all. I don't. Google, YouTube will target your people, period. If you say, hey, people who previously interacted, if you type in all visitors, it is going to target them. Do make no mistake about it. You will show ads to these audiences here. I don't use them. I'm looking for pure cold. I'll remarket my audience in a different campaign. I will not use that here at all. Interest in detailed demographics. This one you can use if you're saying like Nike, it'll give you some suggestion like in market for Nike products. Great. In market for custom shoes. Cool. Sneaker releases. Good. These people are also basketballs and running and sneakers. This one might be a little bit too vague because it might be looking to designer sneakers. Again, this is, we're all.
Do they have Jordans?
Yeah, Jordan shoes. And what's funny is you can actually hover it over it and you'll see the search terms that people use: Jordan, new Jordans, retro Jordans, Jordan sneakers, Michael Jordan shoes.
They have Nike soccer cleats. Look how specific that is.
Oh, it's getting so specific.
People that are in the market, not an affinity audience, people that are going to buy a Nike soccer cleats. Like, dear God.
Yeah, I love this. That's what I love about YouTube is I can get 10 times the size of the audience. Where on search, it's like, did these people that I want also search? Did I also pay $6 a click? Was I also at the top? Like, I'm just skipping everybody and going right to you. I'm invading your home before you start to go on search. Which is really, really cool because I can target like a person that Google has. He or she has had enough activity that Google says, oh, yep, they're on my radar. And I'm just tapping right into it. It's amazing.
This is really, so if you're watching this video, an excellent use of your time is to go learn the in-market and affinity audiences that are available for your industry.
Yeah. And the difference between affinity, I like to call it a permanent fixture of your personality. In market is a temporary recent spike of activity. So if I have a affinity for Nike shoes, I might work at Nike. I'm on it all the time. I'm researching all the time. Google has said like, man, this person is that's what they do. I might be a shoe designer. I may work at, a shoe store. Doesn't matter. Maybe not my market. I would say affinity would be like basketball player or basketball. That affinity, that person is constantly obsessing over basketball in a good way online. They read blogs, they watch YouTube videos.
Yeah, it's a basketball coach
Yeah, exactly. So that'd be affinity. Affinity is if this person has a high amount of activity. Look at like topics that they're around. But if you're talking about products like Nike shoes, use in market. Affinity of a product doesn't really work that well. Test it, but usually it doesn't. Exclusions, again, you can exclude your people. I actually do not like to exclude website visitors. I know it sounds stupid, but these people are going to take multiple clicks before they convert. So if you exclude your website visitors, for example, it says once they click and then on your website, this campaign says, all right, done. I'm not marketing.
It's actually kind of like frequency capping.
It is. Oh, you get one frequency.
Yeah.
Exclude your converters. Don't exclude your website visitors. Common mistake. And then demographics. I don't use this at all. I don't. I have a multiple use cases now that I'm missing like 70% of my conversions if I exclude the unknown. And we have a women's hair regrowth serum that is 95% conversions. I think it's like 19 out of the 20. 95% were male. Wow. Category for the women's regrowth hair serum. Now, were they male? I don't know, but
it would almost make sense. Actually, it's like, oh, I know somebody with this problem.
Yeah.
Can you click on additional demographics?
Yep. Sorry, this is a parental status and household income.
Have you used household income?
I have, but the problem though is nowadays almost 60% or 70% of our market is in the unknowns all across the board.
So I'm bringing it. I had a conversation with Alric Heck. And he said that household income for him is his. I think he said number one.
Oh,
target
for sure.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt. Go ahead.
That was it. I was just curious.
It is. So here's what Google will say is I'll just use a quick example. This here is 40% of your market. This here is 60% of your market. If you exclude unknown and target the top 10 to 30, you will nail it. If you add unknown,
it goes super narrow, like super duper duper narrow.
Gotcha. My cat is Google still up. Here's what I would say is I don't think that this is happening for us too much. Let me just skip ahead as I got about 3 minutes left. And I'll talk about that for a moment. Your videos, really simple. We already have a bunch of videos on this. This is more what I want to talk about the targeting, the current settings. YouTube videos, time does not matter. Unless it's shorts, you need to have it under 60 seconds. You need to only target mobile users, and you need to have it uploaded as a vertical video, and you need to have a shorts URL. Just follow those things. We have a YouTube video out there. It's called How to Run YouTube Shorts. Check that out. Time does not matter. The more ads you give it, the better Google will be at optimizing. Google's going to choose its favorite child and just skyrocket the ad spend to the moon. And that's the one that's performing the best. So upload 5, 10, 15, 20, does not matter. Upload more than 2 and you will have the best chance of success. Google will just choose one that it likes and pushes it. I do want to talk about that targeting here because ad copy, no one is good at as good at video. I don't care what guru we talk to. No one's great at choosing the best YouTube video. I have an hour-long video that got us a very, very, very large publicly traded client this last week. So, I don't know what that means.
The cost for conversion $4,000.
Oh yeah, it's because Google is just terrible at tracking conversion. But this is also a very specific type of conversion that we're looking for. I want to talk about the audiences though, is I think that this is for us here, for example, our unknowns are fairly low. And that's what's really interesting about us is our unknowns. There isn't a lot of unknowns at all. I do want to share one other one though, I would say, which is actually pretty interesting. I think we could do this here. We'll have it blurred out. But let me just pull this one up here, as I know we have about 2 minutes left. I do want to share this because this is the part where your campaign and your ability, or Google's ability to target these users, is going to dictate if audiences is right for you to use. Let's do this here. Come on, load. Google's so slow. I'm going to get to this. Okay, so here, this is another campaign. So see where most of our conversions are coming from? There's 100 conversions here. Oh. Sorry, did you say hold on?
Oh, no, I said unknown.
Oh, sorry. They said hold on. I was just hanging tight. Yeah, so age, 102 unknown. My best one is 75. Now, if I excluded this, yeah, my 55 age group might be the best, but I missed out on additional 100 conversions. Gender, if we look at the gender here, for example, the conversions here, I would miss out on about 100. Now, I might only target male or female. That makes sense. Household income, unknown, has the most amount of value per conversion. And then my parental status, I have nothing. It just won't give me any data. So that's the thing that's interesting, is the best way to do this is target everything and then whittle down to what's working, what's not. If you exclude unknown, yeah, you can have a rock solid campaign, but did you miss doubling your conversions because you didn't include them? That's the thing too, is this company here is selling high school jackets. What age, gender, and household income would that be? You know, who knows? Is a kid buying it, the parent buying it, the kid needs to see it, the parent need to buy it, doesn't matter. If it's unknown is rocking and rolling, I don't care. I'm just going to let it fly. So that's why I think that it's really interesting, is if you exclude it, yes, hyper targeting may work great. My question would be, what if you included it? Did your CPA stay the same and lead quality stay the same, but were you able to kind of, increase your lead flow by 20 or 30%? And we're seeing unknown get bigger and bigger and bigger. So each passing quarter, unknown becomes a larger piece of the pie. The more that you don't include that, the smaller your audience gets. So that's my fear there.
I know you got to rock. This is the Ultimate Guide to Google Ads, part 4. John, what are they looking forward to in part 5?
Part 5, I think we're going to run through a Performance Max, and we're going to talk about the differences between Performance Max and standard shopping, and if it's right for your business.
Yay. All right. We'll see you in part 5.
Hey everyone, John Moran here, and today we're discussing YouTube ads and YouTube Shorts. Some things to look for to achieve success, how long you should give it before you should start measuring it, and what are some best practices in order to make sure that you have the best chance to achieve the goal. So we're going to dive right in, and Google, if you're listening, I'm basically an influencer now, so if you'd like to give me some free ad spend,